Big thanks for joining me again on TMI Tuesday. And like I did say, we're looking at national security and the significance of the service chief's replacement. You agree with me what transpired in January 26, how we got the service chiefs, according to the President Muhammadu Buhari's decision, replaced. And there has been ripple effect of what this could mean for fighting insecurity issues in Nigeria. You agree with me that there has been issues about the insurgency, the terrorist attacks, the Boko Haram sect in the northeast, and then we have that in the northwest by the bandits and sundry insurgencies across the country. And how do we arrest this ugly incident? The service chief's replacement, what renewed hope is coming from that end? And discussing this with me, I have in the studio a security expert, and he is Reverend Sheriff Azeke. Thanks for coming, Reverend Sheriff.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
And also joining me via Zoom is a media influencer in politics and governance, Frank Ehiosun. Good morning, Frank.
Well, quite a pleasure.
All right, Frank, I choose to start with you with what we've been going on, what has been going on in terms of the replacements of the service chiefs by the president in January 26th. Do you see this as a renewed hope for a renewed onslaught against the insurgencies?
Hope is very vital in everything in life. In fact, it's the lifeline of all species. So, however good or bad things seem, we must anchor our pursuits on hope. So, having said that, of course, I have hope. I'm sure you have hope. Everybody in the country has hope because that's what we'll thrive on. If I were to go, however, by the fundamentals as they are, I wouldn't be excited about the fact that nothing has changed per se. Nothing has changed to the extent that these guys are new, no doubt. The military structure is the same structure that we've always had. But we are hopeful that they will bring their expertise, their capacity, their experience to bear in improving on the situation that we have on ground. And one of the reasons why I registered a bit of discontent just now about the fact that there isn't change in the system generally is that primarily internal security is not supposed to be the mandate of service chiefs. It's a sorry tale that presently, talking about internal security, we are now looking forward or counting primarily on service chiefs, because the internal security of any nation state is actually responsibility of its police. That is the mandate of the Nigerian police ordinarily. And if you have the other agency that is supposed to anchor and coordinate to a large extent, is the State Security Service. So the service chiefs ordinarily ought to determine security as it pertains to, as in infringement on our national borders, as in our sovereignty. But things have gotten so messed up now that we have to start counting on service chiefs to ensure that internal security is enhanced. No matter what, we must look forward to better days. The other guys, in my opinion, stayed for so long. People were already getting disillusioned that people had served out their tenure in the army. They were meant to serve for about 35 years, and some of them had served for up to 42 years. They were as old as cost 40, cost 41 of the NDA. While those who joined the army with dreams to attain their peaks were being held down because people had stayed for too long, more than required. So there is some ray of excitement, yes, that the president, however belatedly, took a step in the right direction in terms of bringing new people to steer the ship of state as it pertains to the office of the service chiefs.
Okay.
But in terms of internal security, we are still hopeful that things will take shape and policing will be enhanced so that we will not be looking forward to service chiefs change or appointment to guarantee the fact that there will be security within the confines of our country.
Okay, let's hold what actually is on the ground, or what was missing in the course of the former service chiefs not being able to do what as expected in the security aspect. What do you think was missing that can be affected by the present service chiefs in order to fill in the gap in security matters?
I think, like I affirmed a while ago, that primarily is that internal security is the mandate of the Nigerian police. So no matter how effective the security chiefs are, if there isn't proper coordination to ensure that those with the core mandate of ensuring internal security are empowered and held to account to play their roles, the military would do what they do, and there may not be enough men on ground to sustain security internally. Now, in my thinking, the former guys, when they came in, if you remember, they hit the ground running. Within the first 1-2 years of the former service chiefs, when they came in 2015, 2016, there was some change. There was some impact in terms of Boko Haram being hit quite below the belt, and even the bandits were less effective. But by the end of the second year, third year, and onward, the story became different. And I think one of the factors that made the story different was that the responsibility of the military is not to stay put and maintain security. Yes, they can intervene in matters of internal security, but the agency that ensures internal security within the country is the Nigerian police. So my thinking is that right now, there has to be enhanced cohesion.
Okay.
There has to be enhanced confidence building. Because you see, security cannot be when the citizenry do not have confidence in those who maintain security in the state or in the country. So all such factors must be put in proper perspective. There were some incidents that happened as at that time where we heard rumors of even people who could go relay information to the military about insurgents and what they were said to do. Suddenly, by the next day or in the night, the insurgents will come and beat them and exterminate the entire families. So what it meant was that there were security leakages. That's what I'm talking about, the factor of confidence in the citizenry. Because if people would give information as to how things were ongoing, and they were not safe enough because of information they gave out, people they gave information against, which means there were more holes, there were moles in the military that were leaking out such details. So some of such things must be cemented to ensure that confidence is built. Whatever it is that goes on as far as security is concerned is ensured with utmost sanctity. Discipline is very, very important to ensure the secrecy of operations, and standards are to be upheld to ensure that they are successful. So I think some of such things must be brought to bear, must be brought back. And I actually want to emphasize one factor. In Nigerian security, dating back to days in the military, there's been an orientation that has made security seemingly ineffective. You see, there is a difference between national security as it pertains to nation state and regime security. Our security forces for so long a time, from the outset, had an orientation where their trust in matters of security had more to do with regime security or the security of administration, and not the security of the nation state. So their modality must change henceforth to place premium on national security as it pertains to the nation state, and not the orientation as it used to be, where premium was placed on the regime safety and security, which led to the fall in standard of internal security as it pertains to Nigerian policing from our days in the military. Those are some of the offshoots of what we're experiencing today. Okay,
Frank Eyosun, you spoke about a possibility of moles even within the military. Now, let's stretch this further to having the willpower to do this in terms of exposing sponsors of the Boko Haram sect, both local sponsors and international sponsors. Do you think it is resting in the army alone, or it stretches beyond the army?
I think it stretches beyond the army. First of all, if we go by the events of the past, we may not be bold enough to say that government is really serious about fighting Boko Haram. And it's not just about this administration. Time will not permit us to go through the history as we have it. The records are there. As far back as the time of the General Olusegun Obasanjo, there are details of reports from the State Security Service on the emergence of this group when they were not as dangerous as they had become. It went on and on and on to the time of General Tuwa, to the time of Jonathan. I can't forget a piece where Femi Falana addressed the press. He was very frontal on his viewpoint, where he affirmed that a former governor in the Northeast state specifically, that is at the center of this Boko Haram crisis, was arrested by a neighboring country, Cameroon specifically. And they arrested him over his involvement in the matters as it pertains to Boko Haram. The Nigerian government then, under leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan, rather than follow up the case to ensure the prosecution of that individual with the evidence they had, it was politics that was played with the matter to ensure that the guy was released for political convenience. So for so long a time, so many things have been swept beneath the carpet as it pertains to dealing with the issues frontally. That's why I said that from the standpoint of government, there hasn't been real seriousness in tackling the issue to ensure that justice is seen to be done. We are all privy to what happened in 2009, how the founder of the group was arrested and killed in cold blood under shady circumstances. When that happened, the government of the day at that time took no action until the group became very violent and dimensions to what was unexpected. Was that not when they went to arrest the police officers that were involved in the extrajudicial killing of the guy that formed the group? As we are talking today, this is 2021. How far has that case gone? So you can see that from government standpoint, holistically, there isn't been a cool attempt at ensuring that the issue is dealt with.
Okay.
There's been so much of politicking, but unfortunately, we are expressing the consequence as a country today.
Okay. Frank Elson, before I let you go, let's look at the aspect of welfare of troops, which experts are saying that also is a setback in the army's fight against terrorists. What are your thoughts in this?
I think my thoughts is not different from what is in the public domain. Impunity has been a norm and one of our foremost undoing as a country in every sphere, from the superstructure of government to all substructures as it pertains to leadership in this country. Unfortunately, the military as an institution is not exempted. The rank and files are the ones that bear the bulk of the brunt. But unfortunately, we have witnessed where we see them protest. And you and I were in this country where we see people who are military men, who are officials of different spheres of government, who earn less than $1 million, but they are billionaires. And so that's why I said impunity is a challenge. The welfare of the military must be prioritized. These guys lay their life for their country. Like it's done in other climes. They are giving due respect, special accord on every front, because they pay the supreme price to ensure that the sovereignty of the country is guaranteed. So in terms of welfare, what they express presently is a far cry from what is expected. Why those who make laws, those who do things that are possibly just part-time, are paid in millions upon millions. Those who work in certain sectors are paid specially. Those who work in places like the oil sector, they are paid with special priority. But those who lay their life for the nation state, who are the first point of call to sacrifice against all odds, their welfare is almost of no consequence as far as the nation is concerned.
Okay, thank you.
In my candid opinion, government must reprioritize that sector.
Thank you, Frank Elson. Frank Elson is a media influencer in politics and governance. Thank you for taking our time to be part of this conversation.
Quite a pleasure.
Now, back to my guest in the studio, Reverend Sheriff Azeke. We've been having this issue about fighting the insurgents, and it's been over a decade. Now, what do you think is missing in terms of the service chiefs that were replaced not being able to do as expected? What do you think is the missing link?
I think the service chiefs, they did their best, but their best was not enough. As well, Nigerians were agitating for change of service chiefs. And it will be very funny, you use the same old bottle and turn a new wine into it. everything should be changed, both the bottle and the wine, so that we can get a positive response in terms of security. Presently, the rate of security in Nigeria is increasing on a daily basis. It's like much is not being done, because every day we hear of killings, we hear of attack here and there. It's not just the northeast, northwest. It's everywhere. Every state has become a threat when it comes to security, because everything is increasing. We talk more on the service chiefs. We talk more on the military, which ought not to be so. Because the military is like they are the last point when it comes to security. What we are going through in Nigeria is not just an external war or external problem. It's internal problem. Like what my colleague just said, okay, that we should focus more on the internal security, not external. When it comes to external, I think the military can come in. But when it comes to internal, the police is well involved. They are the custodian. So the government should focus more on the police than even the military. Are you saying the government should focus more on the police, or it should also focus on the police? Just as we need this collaboration between the security organizations. Very, very important. Okay. Very, very important. We cannot negate the fact. But when it comes to internal security, more should be placed on it. Much should be placed on the police. But unfortunately, much is not placed on the police. We can see it very well, very vivid. What do you think is a setback in this direction? Is it lack of political will, or yes, what do you think? Yes, there's a lack of political will. Apart from the police, the government can also focus on even immigration and the custom. It's like we are not looking into this aspect, because our boundaries are porous. Too many persons are coming into this country and causing mayhem. One of the main problems we have in Nigeria today, the intruders, foreigners, who are not legitimately positioned in this country. They just pass through the back door of the country and enter into the country and causing problems everywhere. So if attention should be given to the police, attention should be given to the immigration, attention should be given to the custom, I think to an extent we can address certain issues when it comes to police and security matters. Okay, let's look at lack of manpower. That could also be a challenge. Yes. Do you think that can be fixed within a short time? The lack of manpower. When you look at our population, the population of Nigeria is growing on a daily basis. We are more than 200 million when it comes to population. Let's look at the police. The police, less than 400,000. How can less than 400,000 police officers? So the manpower is not adequate? No, it's not adequate at all. The government should focus on even the manpower. And they should be fast in it. It's not a matter of just recruiting few persons and tell the world that recruitment is going on. Let there be massive recruitment of people into the police force, so that the police can manage the system very, very well. Because if the police is well funded, I believe our police, they are equal to the task. If the police system is well funded and the morale is high. Okay, there's much that has been said concerning the responsibility of the federal government in terms of ensuring that the Nigerian state is secured and the citizenry secured. But let's look at the state governments. Some say, well, the state government seems not to have much to do about fighting insecurity based on what they found themselves in. Do you think that is the correct thing to say? I think security is not only meant for the federal government. Okay. It's a collective program. Everybody coming together. We are all stakeholders to this security issue. The problem we are having presently is that it's like we are all looking at the federal government to handle security. We know that security, the primary purpose of government is to protect the lives of the citizen and the properties of the citizens. But it's like the government is somehow failing in that aspect, because you could see it very vividly. You mean the state government? No, the federal government.
Okay, but we're looking at the state government.
When we look at the state government,
yes, is there anything they can do about it? Because
very much.
Even if the federal government is failing, does it mean that they shouldn't beef up in terms of
failing,
like what we are having in other climes, in other states?
Failing in
the local vigilante, for instance,
yes.
The farmers' herders clashes as a way of digression.
Yes, the state government should really come in to security issue. No matter what it is, they should come up with their own strategy on how to manage the security situation in their own states. Like what we have in the West today, we have the Amateku, and to an extent they are doing fine. The East, they are planning to really come up with some security outfits. Even the South, I think, from what I've gathered, they are doing some kind of underground arrangements.
Okay, but the basic problem here again is lack of funds, adequate funds to kickstart the local vigilantes, the security network, in order to boost internal security. State governments keep talking about the lean resources available to them. How can this magic work?
I think when it comes to security, and we are hearing of lack of funds, when there is a willpower, the fund will be available. When there is a willpower, the fund will be available. When we keep on saying there's no fund, there's no fund, there's no fund to manage security, I think it's not ideal. Security, we can spend any amount to make sure the lives and property of citizens are protected. Like I was saying of recent, that if it means them to empty the money in CBN to safeguard Nigerians, it's not out of place.
Okay.
Because if the government is serious on security matter, they will not tell us there's no money. When it comes to politics, there's money. When it comes to personal issues, you see money coming up.
Okay.
But when it comes to security, people keep on saying there's no money, because there's no willpower.
Okay, Frank Ehiosun just spoke concerning this whole aspect about having moles within the military, within the armed forces. And again, the aspect of identifying local and international sponsors of these terrorists. What do you think should be the way out in terms of addressing this issue?
I think security issue is not, I keep on saying it's not about gun. Because it's like we focus more on harming the men. We can do more on intelligent gathering. We can do more on the military having strong synergy with the citizens. Because when you handle security matter from a distance, you may not get the results.
Okay.
Because the citizen will be looking at the military as even a threat to them. But if the military can come up, I pray for these new service chiefs to come up with a new pattern, because if we are doing the same thing, often we can't get the results.
Okay. Okay.
If they can strategize very well, because we are dealing with the people, come closer to the people. It's not about threats. It's not about carrying the gun, because even the gun itself scares people. You try to create a kind of a platform, like the town hall and meeting,
okay,
where the security personnel and the community, the elders, the chiefs,
a conducive environment,
yes,
where everyone can familiarize with issues concerning security.
The youth leaders, the stakeholders, they come on a round table. Let them discuss about the security of the land. When they have this closeness, I think to an extent, security issue can be addressed.
Thank you very much, Reverend Sheriff Azeke, for taking our time to be part of this discussion. And big thanks again to Frank Ehiosun, media influencer in politics and governance, for taking our time. Well, there's the much we can take on this. Basically, we're going to be having more discussions in this regard.